Have you ever been awakened by a rooster? Seriously, it's not a gentle nudge. Some years ago, when visiting my family on Moshav Kfar Sirkin in Israel, a rooster woke me up every morning. Every morning. It was an ungodly sound at an ungodly hour, and I was completely disoriented in body and soul. It was a wake-up call, not to be ignored. On this Erev Rosh Hashanah, I ask you all to consider an old, familiar wake-up call, the shofar, as it brings us all together and demands that we awaken to ourselves and to our community. Many of us have been listening to the sounds of the shofar our entire lives. In fact, our people have heard the shofar for thousands of years. These sounds are not just the call of history or holy days or the beginning of a new month, but rather they are loud, sharp, elemental calls to action. The 4 distinct blasts of the shofar you will hear tomorrow are a call to all of us to awaken to community and to possibilities. Think of them this way. T'kiah, a long blast, is the call to attention, to wake up, to engage. Shvarim, 3 broken blasts, a cry, a wail. They are about our brokenness and call for self-reflection. Truah, 9 short, piercing blasts, sounding an alarm that is meant to bring action and involvement. And finally, T'kiah Gedolah, that long, deeply overwhelming blast. That one is a call for unity and continuity. That one is the sound that has held our people together. This simple horn is insistent. With few notes in its repertoire, it has commanded generations, and it still commands us today. Simply hearing that cry is the mitzvah. But I would say to you, that's not enough. When I first came to Beth Israel on 3rd and Laurel, I was struck by how fiery, engaged, welcoming, and resilient our members were. Every Shabbat that summer, the synagogue was full. The High Holy Day services at the Civic Theater were filled to capacity. I spent that summer and fall of 1997 in awe. I remember feeling so lucky to have arrived here, and I still feel that way. Throughout the years, we have asked much of each other. Tonight, I am calling on you to appreciate, as I do, the depth of this community, its ability to serve, your part in that, and then double down. Let me back up for a moment. I want to tell you a story about a 7-year-old named Maya, who happens to be the child of a CBI rabbi. I have permission to share this story. 7 is one of my favorite ages. When a child turns 7, having reached a Sabbath of years, they're like sponges, gathering information, and in Maya's case, the wisdom is overflowing. Recently, over lunch, out of nowhere, Maya said to her grandmother, her Nani, "You know, we have 2 families." And Nani asked, "Who's the second family?" And of course, as one might imagine from a 7-year-old, the look and the answer was, duh, CBI. She went on to explain, Arsi, that's me, is our grandmother there, and Nicole and Rabbi Jason and Heidi and Andy are our aunts and uncles. End quote. And I am certain that there are many others on that list. Granted, Maya is the child of a Beth Israel rabbi, but this is what we want all of our children to feel about our community here, that we are a true family. It's what we want every one of you to feel about Beth Israel. This is how I feel about you. You are my second family. I'm so grateful to Maya for that insight. She already knows that there is a larger world that is also her family, and that we must care for each other. This is what the shofar is calling us to do. I know for so many of you, I'm preaching to the choir, and you could not do more than you're doing now. For others, you may not know where to start or how to add to what you're already doing. So let's talk about that. 4-year-old Mirabelle from our preschool program had a lemonade stand at Mission Bay a few weeks ago. And whether her lemonade was really good or she was just too cute, by the end of her shift, she had $50. Her mom and dad said the money could help someone in need. So Mirabelle is now on the hunt for, as she said, the needy people. That will not be the hard part. It's sometimes easier for a young person to hear the call and answer it. Our members, past and present, have played and continue to play important roles in Jewish and secular leadership in San Diego, in the United States, in Israel, and around the world. Even more members quietly step forward in a plethora of ways to influence. Beth Israel is a force of 5,000 plus souls who can and do make a difference in this world as they bring their goodness and their gifts. Right here tonight, we have an extraordinary conductor, highly skilled instrumentalists, soloists, choristers, young and older, along with the musical gifts of Rabbi Gimbel and Rabbi Navarez, who are lifting our spirits with their musical talents and helping on this holy day to make us whole. These musicians answer the call all year long. Our own programs at Beth Israel are vast, helping the bereaved, feeding the homeless, lobbying Congress, building homes in the Dominican Republic, visiting Israel, helping refugees and communities destroyed by acts of nature. What we do is boundless. Can we do more? Of course we can. And with all of you, this enormous spiritual community, the possibilities are endless. The shofar calls us as it called our ancestors, and we must respond. We must think locally and globally and search out communities in need. If you are helping children at the Polinsky Children's Center here in San Diego, help abused or orphaned children in Israel as well. If you are helping Afghani, Ukrainian, or South American refugees coming to San Diego, make sure you consider those devastated by acts of nature in Florida, Hawaii, and Morocco. Jewish Federation of San Diego can help you with that. Is there a neighbor who needs a ride, or a senior center that needs a volunteer, or a food bank that needs financial or physical support? Perhaps there's a person on the courtyard or the foyer who's standing alone, who needs for you just to go over and say hi. If we all reach out, whether to strangers or to those closest to us, to try and understand what people are going through and what they need and how we can help, what a different community ours could be. That call may be a whisper inside you, or the blast of the shofar, or both. But we must listen. Tonight, I want to share with this community somewhat outside my comfort zone. Having Jewishly traveled the United States, Canada, Israel, Germany, France, Curacao, even Long Island, where I had my first pulpit, I want to tell you that Beth Israel is one of the finest synagogue communities. You have changed thousands of people's lives for the good, and you changed my life, for which I am grateful. I had no idea what the possibilities of being clergy on the West Coast would mean, what Shabbat could mean, or high holidays. I hoped the possibilities would be limitless. They have been, and they continue to be. I am grateful. This is what Rosh Hashanah is about. This is why the shofar is calling. We are commanded. What difference will you make this year? And how can we help you do that? It doesn't matter if you are 4 or 104 years old. The legendary Catalan Puerto Rican cellist Pablo Casals was asked why he continued to practice at age 90. Because, he said, I think I'm making progress. Imagine the unending progress and possibilities that we can create together if we answer that call. Ken Yehi Ratzon, Shana Tova. Wishing you all a good and meaningful new year.